All right, hi guys, welcome back to Shiz on the Money. So we've got Belinda back, which is fantastic. Belinda's from the Fierce Girls Guide to Finance. And today we're going to be talking about goal setting. So I'm a bit of a goal nerd. I love setting like life goals and like career goals, but I've never actually thought about setting financial goals ever. Which is
Really?
weird when I think about it. Yeah, I've never thought about, when do I want to retire? When do I want to buy a house? Like all those kind of big questions. I'll be like, I like that dress. I'm going to buy it and I'm going to work out how I can buy it. Really good at the short-term goals, but the long-term goals I'm not really too great with. So do you find this comes up often? And how do we get started when thinking about like goal setting?
Yeah, it's a good point. We talked in the last video about the way that women are sort of socialized to think about money or not think about it really.
Yeah.
We sort of think about it as a means to an end, whether it's purchasing something for your lifestyle or, having an experience. And it means that we can just let all those goals drift.
Yeah.
But what I find is helpful is to have some sort of short, medium and long-term goals, exactly the same as you would for any of your life or career goals.
Yeah.
So short-term goal might be, I want to go away at the end of the year to, Portugal on a girls' holiday.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to need £2,000 for that.
Yeah.
I don't know, that's probably a lot.
That's
and then a medium-term goal might be more in the sort of 3 to 5 year vicinity. And it might be, I want to get rid of my student loan debt, or I want to save up enough of a deposit so that I can buy a property.
Okay.
And then, like, it sounds like a really long way away, but it's never actually too early to start thinking about your long-term goal, which is generally your retirement lifestyle. So before you go like, I'm never going to get old, I don't care about that now.
Yeah.
The thing that's really important to understand about retirement planning is that the earlier you start, the less you have to do and the easier it is. So, the magic of compound interest means that if you just put away an extra £50 a month, over 30 or 40 years of your working career, that's compounding every year. You're getting interest on top of the interest that you make. So if you look at a compound interest calculator, and I highly recommend that you do, just Google that. Okay. It's sort of like flat, and then it just starts going up really steeply.
Yeah.
Because over time, you get all this magical free money. So if you start putting extra away when you're 25 or 35, you actually get, and it's quite painless, right? Like putting an extra £50 away a month in your pension fund or wherever you want to put it.
Yeah.
That's essentially a round of drinks, right?
Yeah, that's doable. I can do £50. That's definitely doable.
Yeah. But the power of that when you're young is so strong when you're older, rather than getting to the age of like 45 or 50 and going, well, my pension fund is looking pretty skinny.
Yeah.
I better start putting away £500 a month. It's the level of pain when you do it longer is a lot lower. So I know that was a really long intro, but I want you to think about short, medium and long-term goals, whatever your age.
Okay, cool. And so I know when we set like kind of career goals, we make sure they're smart. So, specific, measurable, all that jazz. Is that the same? And do you kind of do like a 6 monthly check-in with yourself or a quarterly month check-in to see where you're at, if you're kind of ticking them off?
Yes. I think with the retirement planning thing, that doesn't really have to be that smart. It's just, put a little bit of extra aside into something that you're not planning to touch for a long time. So whether it's in Australia or whether it's in England, we've got slightly different retirement planning schemes. But either way, it's in a bucket. You can't really touch it or you're not planning to touch it.
Yeah.
And so that kind of ticks away by itself. But with your short-term stuff, so for example, the holiday example, if you want to save, let's call it £1,200, because there's 12 months in the year, then you need to say, I'm going to save £1,200 for this holiday. And that means I could put £100 away every month.
Yeah.
And that means that I need to find somewhere in my budget how I'm going to cut £25 out of my spending each week.
Mm-hmm.
So you can kind of work back from that. But then I'm a big fan of having little separate savings accounts. And if you can name them, sometimes your bank lets you say Portugal,
Yeah.
So then you can see it ticking up every month, and that keeps you much more on track. The thing about having SMART goals for those short and medium term is it helps you in your decision making. So if you've got it written down, you've got a plan. When you're standing in a shop, or you're online and you're on ASOS, and you're, do I need this top? This is from ASOS. It's £30. It's pretty cheap. I should probably just get it. If you've got that goal there and you think, is that going to help get me to my goal? Is that £30 that I spend on this top going to take me further away from that goal?
Yeah.
And you really visualize yourself sitting by the pool eating a delicious Portuguese tart. Then, it's a lot more immediate then. And it helps you in your decision making when it comes to that crunch time. Because it's the mindless spending that gets us. It's just I'm out, it's Friday night, I'm at the pub, splash the cash, or, I feel a bit down, I might jump online and buy myself a new outfit. It's all that stuff. If you can have a touchstone that you go back to and say, you know what, that doesn't really align with my goal, then you're much more likely to achieve it.
Yeah, no, I think there's definitely a lot in that. I know, it's just so easy these days to just go tap round of drinks for everyone, or I'm going past that store, there's another 50. Oh, let me pop into Boots, and all of a sudden you've spent literally I think I spent £127 in Boots the other day, and I was like, how did that happen? I bought some vitamins and some face cream and mascara. What the hell?
Yeah, I've had to actually say 2018 is my year of being frugal, more frugal than normal. Yeah. And I've had to cut out, which is the Australian equivalent price line. I'm literally not allowed to go in there.
Okay. And so once we've got our kind of financial goals, we've got them written out, it's really clear. We just do a kind of a check-in with ourselves throughout the year to make sure we're keeping to those. And just for people who are watching who might not be familiar with SMART goals, so could you just break those down for us? Because you'll probably be able to knock it out.
Okay, so
better than I will.
Change the words a little bit, but generally it's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
Yeah.
So specific is really important. So it's not I should save money. It's I'm going to save £1,200.
Mm-hmm.
And then is that realistic? Well, if you've done your budget, you've looked at where you can cut your costs, then yes, tick, it's realistic. Is it achievable? Yes, if I make some behavioural changes and don't piss up all my money at the bar. And is it relevant to me? Am I going to be invested in this emotionally so that I do the right thing? Mm-hmm. And so, again, pick a goal that means something to you. Don't just be I should really save money. Yeah. It's here's the thing that I really want, and I want it more than I want that dress from ASOS. Mm-hmm. And then time bound. So that's why I think it's good to have a year or 2 years or 5 years, so that you can A, check in, and B, feel like you're making your way towards that goal.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. All right. Well, I think hopefully our members will start getting those SMART goals together, because I think that's really true. And I think it's just the mindless spending, the shop here, the shop there, I'll buy lunch here, I'll do that. I think it's those things which they just add up, don't they? And then all of a sudden it's the money's just going through your hands, and it gets to a year and you're I've actually been on a better wage and I still haven't saved anything. It's really interesting.
Absolutely. I think that's why I'm a fan of, even if you don't do it every month of the year, spend 1 month tracking everything you spend, because it's a massive reality check. You're like, you spent how much at Priceline or at Boots or wherever it is?
Yeah.
You spent how much on coffee?
Mm.
My big one last year was you might be surprised to hear this, but I had never added up how much I was spending on the gym and having a coach, because I do competitive powerlifting.
Yeah.
And I added it up and it was eye-watering. And so it was over $6,000 a year.
Oh my God. Wow.
And I'm really frugal, but I was like, it's in my mindful spending thing that I can spend that much money. So I actually broke up with my personal trainer this year. So
but
I'm going to get small group training instead. It's not like I'm giving up sport altogether. It's not like I'm ruining my life, but it's like I need to really rein that in. And so, it's like no one's perfect, but you can, if you're honest with yourself, you can find some areas that you're like, is that really appropriate?
Yeah, do I really need to do that? Okay, awesome. All right, well, thank you so much again. So guys, this is Belinda from the Fierce Girls Guide to Finance. We're going to pop her link at the bottom of the notes. And thank you very much, Belinda, and we will hopefully see you next time. Thanks again.